What is going on, everybody? We are back again. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a reaction video to Twitter is fixing art using AI and it's embarrassing by your boy Muhammad. All right, always put the original content creators down in the description below, so show him some love. All right, he's a fellow African like me. Okay. All right, people, so before we get started, all right, you guys always do my shameless plug. I use my photograph and transform them into different illustrations, as you guys can see here with Broly and Attack on Titan, and of course my version of Avatar The Last Airbender. All right, so if you guys have any suggestions, just put it in the comment section down below. All right, and can't forget about Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. All right, people, without further ado, now let's dive into this video.
These past few weeks have been pretty interesting for artists who happen to scroll through their timelines on Twitter, which have unfortunately been overrun by lackluster AI images of art which is supposedly meant to be an imitation of drawings and animations made by Studio Ghibli. While these images are already painstakingly annoying, artists were also subjected to read many tweets filled with hate and discrimination against every single person who ever decided to marry a pencil and produce drawings. AI art is way better. Why take days to create a drawing when you can do the same thing in seconds?
That's very ignorant but then again, we also got to understand as artists in the art community that there of course is going to be the masses out there who are ignorant, they don't know, therefore they're just going to say that just because it's convenient. So I'm not going to crucify them. Just look at it this way: they're just not your demographic. Focus on the people who actually respect and is willing to support your craft.
Seconds. The future is here. Artists are not real workers. They are lazy and are massive losers. Get a life. AI is the future and will be even bigger soon. We have enough art made by human beings. I hate it all. Artists are pretentious, self-important, and usually mentally defective.
What? Man, what the hell is going on? Man, this is getting crazy. What is happening here, man? Hey, again, I don't give them any breather. Let them do what they want to do. I don't allow that to affect what I'm doing in life. They're not paying the bills, so why do I care? Or should I say they're not helping me pay the bills?
You know, in the art community on Twitter, an artist decided to draw themselves in the Studio Ghibli art style using what they had learned from practicing drawing instead of typing up some words in an AI model. The post had over 3 million views and over 200,000 likes, with most people commending the artist for taking their time out to draw instead of just following the herd. But while most people were cheering the artist for their work, someone took time out of their day, downloaded the artist's work, and decided to fix it because it just wasn't Studio Ghibli enough.
What?
Hey, video creator.
What the
We know you.
Oh, get out of here. I didn't want you. Not bad attempt. FO fixed it for you.
I can't seem to find the right words to express my frustration with people on Twitter. A few years ago, we had people fixing art by redrawing it or painting it and somehow putting in effort, spending time trying to make it quote-unquote better in their own twisted way. But now we have people fixing art with AI. I thought we had left this whole...
What type of... Like, that's a real slap in the face. Like, imagine that. I mean, look, in the end of the day, they didn't make the art. It's prompted. But the problem with AI, it just steals everybody's talent that is a digital footprint. So you can't even declare yourself like, oh, I got to take what you made, prompt it, and be like, look, I made it better. Get that out of here, man. I'm sounding ignorant, but get that trash out of here. That makes no sense, in my opinion. Makes no sense.
fixing art thing in the past and have all agreed it is just bad and awful and pointless, why are there still people casually patrolling the internet and exclusively fixing artists' drawing with AI because the artists say they don't want to use AI in their drawings? What even is the point of all of this? Someone made a tweet of an image throwing a pencil at the art fixer, which is just a funny little gag at people who rely on using AI for drawing instead of actually learning how to draw. But then the art fixer replied with an image giving the pencil to an AI. Like, you can't just make this up. How bad has it gotten that we're giving all our drawing problems to AI to solve? No one wants to learn anything anymore.
People are getting lazy, man. We're living in a microwave society, man. You see, when things are too easy, guess what? It becomes harder over time. That's the balance. If you don't know how to build stuff, if you don't know the code, the logistics of how to build something from scratch, then you will become lazy and succumb towards the system. So this is why we need artists, regardless. We all need artists. I don't care anybody say, well, we could replace it. Like, even before AI, Hollywood, all these executives, they all needed the mother, which is artists. Artists are the mother. We give birth from the beginning to the end, how things are developed. So even with AI is just an offspring, a weird cybernetic offspring of what we created. So you can't just fully replace that. Yeah, it could do like the basics, but even the basics, it has 6 fingers. And you guys, another shameless plug, you guys seen, if you guys haven't, I've done a lot of reactions towards other people's content in terms of them using AI, like Will Smith and Disney style, Android 17 and Attack on Titan type of art style. And though some illustrations of, I should say AI, because it's not illustration, even though some of the prompt images do look good, don't get me wrong, but they still have this weird look. Like, AI is starting to have its own style where you could just tell it's AI, and it has the 6 fingers of doom, or the fingers look horrible. And I'm an artist who struggle drawing fingers, but I will never be in a position where, oops, I drew 6 fingers instead of drawing 5. So to me, that's crazy, you know. But let's continue.
More. Other people in the comments started calling the art fixer out, clearly stating how bad and soulless their image looked compared to the original drawing, but they just kept coping hard in the replies, claiming the people who were calling them out for using AI were trying to be funny. And
let's read some of this here. The number of people crying in this post is insane. Laughing my A off. It was funny, but it got old pretty fast. LOL. It's like everybody just working to get that attention. Like, instant gratification, instant attention. And that's the problem with AI. Everything is prompted. So you don't have to put in the work, spending hours and hours, right? But guess what? When you put in the work, spending hours and hours, guess what? People will respect you because of the fact that you developed it from scratch, or however you developed it. But if you prompt it, then it's just microwave. It's like, I've seen some AI shorts where in the comment section, people are like, oh, that's cool. Make this one, prompt this one, make this one. Can you do this? Can you do that? It's like, but with art, they actually have a connection. The people who respect the art, they have a connection with the artist. They're like, hey, I know it's gonna take you a while to make this, just like making a movie or any type of IP. Can you please work on this? As opposed to something that's instant. The value goes down.
And the joke got old pretty fast, which is rather silly if you take a second to think of it, instead of letting AI do all the thinking for you. Why do you think it's okay to fix someone else's drawing and not just fixing it casually, which is also wrong? Going the extra length to use AI to make it better. Did the artist ask for your help? They obviously didn't seek for your opinion, and they clearly stated that they wanted to make the drawing by themselves with.
And the worst part about it is that imagine if the fixing of the art and posting it gets more traction than the original content creator who actually drew the artwork to begin with. That right there is just devastating. That will piss anybody off. You know, like a comedian, like, you stole my joke. Nah, but you know, I took it and I just made it better, and I'm getting all of the money, all of the traction, all the publicity. It's like, and then no one cares about the originator. No, we care about the mainstream. Like whatever is more popular, people are gonna believe that's the original. Nah, to me, it's like we live in a day and age where whether you're an artist or not, you gotta put respect to your name. We got access to your phone, internet, whatever it is. Voice your opinion, voice the truth. Because if you don't do that, then people are just gonna assume what they see. And that's not good.
Without any use of AI. So ignoring their personal values and feeding their art to AI is just absolutely wrong, no matter how you want to look at it or whichever excuse you want to use. Some other weirdos in the comments were making fun of the artists, telling them how they just wasted their
I did the same thing with AI. How long did it take you? What is happening?
Time drawing when AI would have done a better job faster, and how they should give up.
AI looks better and makes it 100 times quicker. Get new skills. And his profile picture is AI. So of course he'll say that.
And quit art because drawing wasn't for them and AI
looks like
looks
Khabib
better. Someone even said at the end of the day you still
yeah, okay, he's reading
copied Ghibli's design. Is this better because the end result is worse than what Ghibli could have done by themselves? Or is this just to show that you are not on par with what AI could have come up with? It's better because the artist made something they're proud of by themselves, using skills they've learned over time. If that's
it's like the same issue with Instagram and photographers, you know? They're like, well, you know, guess what? I got my phone. I can add filters, so I guess I'm better than photographers. It's like, no. Like actually having a camera, learning the aperture, shutter speed, learning those logistics makes you a professional. Not using filters on Instagram. That's the same thing I look at AI. You're not a professional artist. You're a professional prompter. That's the most you ever get. You know how to use keyword like you're coding. Right? Basic coding. You learn how to use the prompt. Not a professional at that. You're not creative at all with that. So giving it still take a mile, unfortunately.
So complex for you to understand, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. Another artist posted their art, which this time had absolutely nothing to do with the AI trend, and the artist was just showing a work in progress of their Genshin Impact fan art. But another Twitter user attempted to fix the drawing using AI, this time claiming they fixed the shading in the original drawing by turning it into
that's a whole different drawing.
Character. The art fixer even had the
that's the thing. AI, you have no control.
Version because somehow they thought in their head they wanted to be anime by fixing their drawing, and the artist needed to show them appreciation because they had made their drawing better. Numerous other artists on Twitter began calling them out for fixing the artist's drawing and ruining it without consent, and telling them that the Studio Ghibli AI trend was only making horrible images compared to actual artists. The comments kept on trooping in hundreds, and while you would only assume the person fixing the art will automatically feel sorry for themselves and see how what they're doing is bad and pointless, they posted this to their account, and I quote, "It's just so devastating that sharing a simple image."
Look at the profile. And this is the thing about these avatar profiles, man. It's just based on, like, they take screenshots of their beloved content creators or anime shows and all that stuff. I mean, no shade to that. But for you to take something, use AI, and then it's not even your authentic self with the profile, and then you complain and saying it's just so devastating and snuffle that sharing a simple image online can inspire such responses like death threats. Okay, that's going too far. Death threats, come on. We don't need to do that. And folks literally celebrating potential violence against me. Why is everyone so hateful to me? Stop playing the victim card. I hate when people play that victim, man. Ugh, it's just take accountability. You took somebody's artwork that was a work in progress. You use a prompt and then you put it back out there saying, hey, look, this is a fixed version. Like, even if you're an artist and you go into the detail of fixing the nose, fixing the eyes, or not, should I say fixing, changing it, the nose, the eyes, or whatever, you didn't ask. Like, I can understand if the artist said, hey, can you guys, if anybody out there, can you help me fix my the nose of this character? That's different. But you didn't, you just took it because now, given this, I'll take them out because we have access to AI, and then you just spat in this artist's face by saying, hey, look, I made this. And now you play victim because you're getting the heat. It's a crazy world out here.
Line could inspire such responses like that.
Should I say crazy internet world?
Literally celebrating potential violence against me. Why is everyone so hateful to me? What type of sick, twisted individual do you have to be to immerse yourself in such delusion that people are celebrating violence against you? Obviously, sending death threats and promoting harm against a person regardless of what they did is a horrible thing to do. But fixing someone else's art and claiming it's better without the person's consent is not that great either. Honestly, how entitled and self-absorbed can you be to use someone else's art for AI when literally no one asked you? Most importantly, the artist didn't ask you to. Who are you to do that? And the nerve to add hope you like it. It'll be worse if that got more views, more popularity than the original. Telling them that they deserved it and expressing how much of a piece of shit they were. And while I don't totally agree with some of them, which were a bit extreme, they in fact did deserve all the treatment they were getting from everyone in that comment section. To add salt to the already deep and hemorrhaging injury, a member of the popular esports org FaZe Clan made a ridiculous tweet that stirred up a massive ruckus on Twitter, starting more drama between artists and possibly everyone else. Loving the new AI. To be straight up honest, I think people who spend their time learning art and creating art should just quit. AI is the future and it's phenomenal. Not only was this free, but no complaints at all. I am an AI artist.
You're not an artist if you're using AI. Let me change the screen. You're not an artist if you use AI. Get it through your head. You're not an artist. You are a prompter. No different from someone searching on Google and you type whatever you need to find in the search bar. The same thing. There's nothing creative about that. You didn't go through the pain and amounts of hours trying to figure out how to get the anatomy right on the hands, the legs, the face, the different logistics on the storytelling on the outfit. None of that, because AI did it for you, right? That's like you calling yourself a chef and using Lunchables or any other microwave dinner food, and you like, well, I'm a chef. No, they make that. You just threw it in the microwave. Like, that's exactly what that is. So maybe it's sarcasm. So I don't know. It's hard to tell with sarcasm when someone's texting or putting a post online.
Why is everybody putting up with ads like it's 20?
Why am I even seeing this ad? Oh, why? Oh, why? Get out of here.
There's a lot to unpack here. So let's unpack it, shall we? To be straight up honest, I think people who spend their time learning art and creating art should just quit. This doesn't sit
it's
right
already
to
starving
me
artist.
Doesn't make any sense at all. While this might seem like a rather sensible and groundbreaking take to a non-artist, it really could get you punched in the face saying this in front of a person who is extremely passionate about drawing. To artists, making images and spending the time learning how to draw isn't just something we do because we have nothing else to do with our time or because we're jobless. Drawing is a thing we take pride in. Spending hours on an image, struggling through the ugly stage to get it right, and then finally seeing the finished image slowly emerge in front of you is a fulfilling feeling you possibly wouldn't understand unless you're
and people don't understand, like, you coming up with an idea. Think about that. An idea that you build into your vision, and you translate that idea or observational, like either still life or you're looking at something and you translate it from eye to hand or from brain out of the dome to hand coordination. And while you're doing that, you're going through the trial and error until completion. There's a sense of pride, there's a sense of fulfillment, there's a sense of, like, sometimes it could get frustrating because your ideas is not fully coming into fruition, but all of that is the roller coaster of being not just an artist, but a visionary. So for people who are ignorant that don't understand, of course they're going to say something like this because of this baby tool that they have that's prompting. You can prompt this. Of course they're going to talk like that. Like, oh, well, we don't need artists. Like, you sound like just like those big, business conglomerates out there who always cut corners, right? They always cut corners. Oh, we don't need this. We could just downsize the artists so we don't have to pay them that much because we don't respect artists. Just making it even worse than what it is. It's crazy.
Passionate about something too. What even makes the situation truly ugly is this streamer has millions of followers and is pretty popular on the internet. So the chances of someone within his young and impressionable audience seeing this tweet and then immediately taking it to heart is pretty high. The tweet itself has over 10 million views. Half of it is possibly because it's just controversial, and a portion of that because some people just automatically agree with what he's saying.
And think about it. Look, think about Marvel, DC, all of these anime, especially anime, because there's a lot of like Gen Zs who love anime, right? I like anime too. So it wouldn't exist if it was all through AI. It had to be individuals who had an idea and they translated it from scratch into world building IPs. You can't get that with AI. AI steals, it takes things from human beings. Human beings are the mother, artists are the mother. And these weird cybernetic internet, whatever you call it, AI is just an offspring of that. It's just the weird children of that, cybernetic children. That's what AI is. It's not the other way around. Right? Like, AI cannot replace human beings. This is what man created, right? But God created human beings, right? So always keep that in mind. Even if you're not religious, that's how it is. Universe, God, however you look at it from that perspective, human beings are still the hierarchy, not AI.
Fortunately for us, a number of people in the comments began questioning if he really meant it, calling him out and saying the post was just rage bait. And to an extent, I would have also agreed with them, because for someone with a platform as huge as his, making a statement like that is totally uncalled for and is just brand risk. But then I found this video and oh my.
I mean, never have seen a tweet that got 9.3 million impressions.
That's AI too. Look at that
AI picture. Every fucking quote tweet in this is talking about how we hate artists. 182,000
scrawny
likes.
Dude.
What if we just
Scrawny
hate artists?
Let me not.
What if you just shut the fuck up?
Look at this.
A bunch of fucking losers. 21 gay pride autistic.
I can never understand the younger generation where they have to scream while talking as if like you're in your room, you got Disney, Elmo, and the Joker and Pokemon in the background with dyed hair, and you got your headset on and your bed is in the background. And yet when they talk, it's like, they don't fit and they're just dumb. They need a shut. Like, why are they so loud? Is there something wrong with their ears? Like, is they like they have hearing problems? Is it because they have these headphones that they have on for so long that for some odd reason they're hearing? Like, they probably blast the music so loud, because that's what I'm hearing. It's almost if you're blasting loud music. It's like, yeah, they need to shut the F up. Yeah. Like, it just makes people have more ADHD. It's like, I need your attention, people. That's why I talk while screaming. It's like, I just can't, man. I'm not the demographic. That's what it is. I'm an old man. Where's my cane?
ADHD stoner. Yo, I can't make this up.
Hey, what is this?
I deadass can't make that up. Shit look corny. Yo, I'm noticing a pattern. Everyone in FaZe is a Nazi and pedophile and a terrorist.
Why is he so loud? Jeez.
What the fuck?
This is the entertainment people like, man.
Through some tweets.
And yet they get way more views and attention for these young, impressionable kids because they love it. They love it. They love loudness. Everything gotta be so loud. What is this, like wrestling? It's like the Macho Man. Let me tell you something, brother. Like, what the hell is this, man? Look, I'm being ignorant myself. Let's continue.
It's from people who, some of which were definitely artists, or at the very least were just trying to learn how to draw, and was just making fun of them for leaving comments about Fizz promoting the use of AI without any tangible reason as to why he didn't agree with them. I can't tell if this is a joke or not, but clearly he seems pretty serious with the way he was making fun of them. The annoying thing is, his chat is also going to go off of what he's saying and totally agree with him for the most part, unless other people start calling him out for being weird on the internet, which is practically what started happening. You will never know what it's like to create beautiful masterpieces with your own hands, and you don't deserve to feel any of that. Now pick up a pencil and stop being a lazy Twitch.
What's wrong? Yo, what is happening with the fingers here? Wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the fingers, it just looks like if I'm throwing something, I guess the biggest issue is like the thumb, which is right here, right? The thumb looks too big. That's what's throwing me off. The thumb should be smaller. The foreshortening that's happening right over here, the foreshortening is off. And to be fair, even AI struggles with foreshortening. Foreshortening is when you see the depth given a three-dimensional feel of something that's closer to the viewpoint, and then the rest of it becomes shorter, which is foreshortening, right? The limbs look shorter because it's pointed towards the viewer. So that's foreshortening, right? Just like when you always see the fist, you see how right here the fist looks bigger than my head. Fist is bigger than my head. That's foreshortening. So, yeah. I'm not saying for these people to learn how to get on that higher level of drawing. It takes many years of trial and error, right? And if it's not a passion, then they're just not going to do it because they're going to start off at, level 1 and they ain't going to level up, right? So it is what it is. And not everybody has the talent to learn how to draw or the skills. But at the same time, it is a very humbling experience, and he needs to get humbled by at least having a video of someone who is an artist and showing him how to draw, so then he could be like, oh crap, dang, drawing is really hard. I never knew. I never really actually decided to care about drawing until this. Now I have a more respect and appreciation towards artists because drawing ain't easy. And that's anything in life, but no one really cares until they actually do it. So he needs to get humbled in a good way.
Dreamer, be it or not, you shouldn't promote this to your middle school fan base. What I'm gathering from what I've observed about this new AI trend in the last couple of days is that some non-artists have a lot of disdain for artists, and AI art is sometimes used more as a get-fucked artist than a tool of convenience. People were so mad in the comments calling out Ronaldo and
yeah, but look at this. You can clearly tell this is AI. And the thing about with AI, you don't have the wiggle room to like do certain logistics. You're just stuck with a flattened image. Even though with Photoshop, you can do like logistics of like use a marquee tool and then make this something different. But at that point, you might as well just draw. You might as well just make a digital art instead of doing all of this technical stuff to prompt an illustration. That's not even a real illustration. It's off the backs of original artists.
Agreeing with his statement against artists and his stance on AI being the future. And apparently he got kicked from Fizz, which is kind of understandable for making such an inconsiderate comment. But knowing how most of these streamers and their organizations go, the tweet could potentially be another bait post just to farm more engagement from people already upset about the entire situation. Asmon Gold, who is another popular streamer with a pretty huge platform and millions of views across his social media, also made a comment about the trend, and as you'd expect, his statements were just so...
Think about like the tech for it to understand like, okay, each one of these things is a pillar. These are people walking down here. Like this to me is fucking crazy. So you're going to see this happen a lot more. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to have any jobs pretty soon. Like, I would definitely say, like, that's, you know, you have the, what is that, the 9 leaving Minas Morgul. Like, oh, fuck, man. This is insane. And so you've got Rivendell here. Yeah, so if you...
So even though this is a depiction of Lord of the Rings, right? We have to take into consideration it's based on the backs of popular IPs, right? If you're gonna make your own original IP, you cannot utilize AI. You just can't. You might as well always stick to having artists. Everybody's trying to cut corners. I know I'm gonna have people in the comment section saying that's not true. Because I know there was like a movie that someone made that was just all AI. Like, guys, in the end of the day, like even Corridor Digital Crew, they made something all through AI, which took them a while to make, by the way, right? And these are actual like visual effects artists, so they're artists using it as a tool. This is a popular IP. So AI has enough information of this popular IP and then taking anime style from whoever artist created that style and they splicing it and combine it together in one. Again, your own original. Stop cutting corners. Stop being lazy.
If you are an artist, this has been a really bad week for you. And I want to promise you that it's going to get worse. Okay? So if you're an artist and this is upsetting you and you're worried, I want to promise...
It shouldn't upset anybody. What is this? What is even compelling about seeing this? How is it upsetting me or anybody who's artist? Like, it's not. This looks like a 1980s old vintage trying to look like 1980s old cartoon. There's non-comparison. So I wouldn't look at this, but I'm shaking in my boots. I'm so scared. Like, no. And it's just ignorant. Of course, you know, big content creators will say that, and they're not artists, so of course they're gonna say that. Of course they are. It's like me being ignorant. Not, let's say if I don't know how to cook, because I know how to cook, but let's say if I didn't know how to cook and they make some revolutionary food that you could just put everything in the microwave. It'll make the food 5-star for you. And I'm gonna say, well, people who do culinary, who actually knows how to cook, you should be shaking in your boots because, you know, this is the new fast food. You know, just hit the microwave, just throw it in the microwave. Like, no, it can never replace the real deal.
I promise you that it's only going to get worse. This is only the beginning. There will be like man-made horrors beyond the comprehension of the human mind. You don't even know what it's going to be like, right? And I would focus on a career change. Yeah, exactly. And focus on, like, go be a plumber or something like that, right?
Yay, way to go, Aspon. Let's all just discourage all the kids that had dreams of becoming an animator or concept artist. Let's all spread.
Now, he's not completely wrong about being a plumber. There's nothing wrong with doing practical jobs that will always be on demand. Understand the market, all right? Because yes, even though I do disagree with the whole like just quit being an artist in this entirety. No, artist is something that is a part of your lifestyle, right? Some people don't want to make it into a career. They just, I've seen a few people in my lifetime so far in my life, where they're magnificent artists, but they do it as a hobby because they don't want to ruin it with having people telling them what to do and being a servant towards clients. They'd rather just make their own stuff. Nothing wrong with that. They don't want to get paid off of it because they're already making a lot of money off of their job. So this is just something they do as a hobby. And that's cool. That's cool. So they could be a plumber. They could do all these, be a truck driver. You know, these are really good jobs. Always on demand. And you could still draw. You can make a YouTube channel. You could set up your Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, and who knows, maybe that can blow up and people could just sit back, relax, and appreciate the content that you make. Two things could coexist at the same time. But I'm not gonna lie to you and say, well, you should follow your dreams and become an artist. It's like, this is why it's called starving artists, and that was even before AI. So now that we got AI, I'm not saying it's good, but for the masses and the big business corporations, they're going to look at that and be like, well, we got to cut corners. I mean, big companies, they outsource anyway. So now they don't need to outsource as much. Now the source is going to be AI, even though it's crappy. They just going to keep doing that because budget cuts, and they make more money off of profit margin. Everything is profit margin. So yeah, you should always build yourself as an artist. Build yourself, build your own brand. Don't rely heavily on these big brands that will eventually pump and dump you.
Fear among them so they can change their career path, since we have nothing else better to do than to spread rumors on the internet. That seems like a rather decent thing to say to all the millions of followers you have across your social media platforms. Well, as you would have
but his audience
a number of
are not majority artists, so I do
saying AI had come to
give
stay
a little
and was
pushback
going
to
to
that.
either change the entire art industry for the most part,
But I
or
understand where he's
possibly
coming
run
from.
artists out of work. That is, if they didn't adapt or find ways to use AI in their work. Other people started pointing out how shitty of a take this was.
Okay, why are people listening to this effing chud? He's a goddamn loser for F's sake. Why do you think he still can't do that improves his lifestyle? True. I think I saw this random YouTube short of people using AI to make him look muscular, and then he just said to the people who did that, he's like, yeah guys, I could never look like that because I have back problems, I have health issues that I physically cannot work out. So the dude is correct me if I'm wrong, he just mainly just streams and makes content, and that's all he does. Like, in effect, even though he's a millionaire, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look at it. It doesn't. I can't look at it. It doesn't look like it, right? But he's a very successful content creator, very successful, even though his health is pretty bad. Keep in mind, this absolute pathetic worm struggles drinking water without gulping a cup of soda. Health is wealth, people. Doesn't matter how much money you have. If your health is crappy, then it don't mean anything.
Was because the AI models Asmon was praising for being the future of art were literally trained from stolen art from actual living artists. So essentially, without an artist making the drawings in the first place, there wouldn't be any drawings or art for the AI to learn from or copy. AI models still need to be trained. My assumption is that animation companies will still hire artists to create and design art to use in their own proprietary training models. Unique art created by artists and AI models speeding production. Job opportunities will still exist. Art is fundamentally coming from the human soul and mind, while being one of the purest forms of expressions us humans have. I truly believe if our artistic mind vanishes, it will be truly devastating for humanity, and the consequences will be much more than artists losing their jobs. The complete lack of understanding of what it is to be an artist here is frankly baffling, considering this person has spent his entire life consuming what they make. Many comments like these all
I mean, it's so ignorant. Look at where, like, look around you. Everything is art. From your chair, like I got a gaming chair, to your laptop, to your, like, to your cups, plates, you know, everything. Refrigerator, your freaking washer, your dryer, like everything was made through the mind and vision of human beings. And that's art, the creativity, the innovation. Once you become lazy and allow AI to do the work for you, then the innovation slows down. The lack of pushing yourself beyond what normal people do, you become the norm. And that's a failure of humanity, because humanity pushes forward through from scratch innovation and taking inspiration through other human beings' work and evolve and improve upon that. So this doesn't make any sense that we gone from that and now we're walking backwards through an advanced Google search.
Agreeing with Asmon's take and calling him out for making blanket statements were all littered across his comment section. People accused him of being a disgusting human and cautioned people not to take advice from him because he apparently had horrible
takes. He's not a disgusting human, he's just ignorant.
And
that's all it is.
Room for some reason. I don't know how true that is. And while the community was busy
I don't think he lives
and his statements,
if there's cockroaches there, that is due to his negligence, right? But he's a rich man with cockroaches, but I don't know.
Slop images. Well, what do you call editing slop?
That's just ignorant name calling.
I feel like slop is becoming a word to like a buzzword to discredit anything in. And let's keep it style. A lot of AI art coming out. It is literally better than most artists' best work that they could. Hey,
here we go with another ignorant content creator.
Then an artist can for the entire life. I mean, brother, I gotta be honest with you. I don't really give a shit. It's just better.
Oh, I just hit my camera.
I don't care. Why would I care? I don't consume the method. I consume the product. If this gives me a better product, I gotta give it the credit it's due. It's a good.
See. What he just said, I don't consume the method, I consume the product. That is actually further from the truth. Because when you look at film and when you look at a lot of IPs or any creative properties that's been developed from beginning to the end, a lot of people, especially when they become fans, they want to know more. They start asking questions because they're intrigued with how the product was finished. So they end up going deeper into how it was developed. Now, you can't really look deeper into the development if it's made through AI. It just stops right there. Oh, how you make this AI? Oh, damn, you lost respect. No one out there is like, wow, whoa, AI, because now you're going to give credit to AI. Like the best analogy is like if you cut your own hair, people are like, oh man, that's a really cool haircut. How you did that? Well, now I can tell you the details because I cut my own hair. But if a barber did it, what I'm going to say? Oh, and my barber stops there. And then what is the person going to say as a response? Wow, your barber did a good job. That's how I look at it with AI. Wow, AI did a good job. Stops there. So people do care about the methodology. It's not just the product. It's not. Why do you think people don't respect it if it's just the product? The product helps, but also if you want to continue making more of the product, people care more about the methodology, right? What's the skeleton, right? I have an exterior as a human being, but the interior is what keeps me alive. So it's not just the exterior. It goes hand to hand.
Good product. I don't give a fuck about the method. I don't give a shit.
That's just an ignorant response.
While it took me a lot more than just holding the phone close to my ear to fully grasp what he was saying, I found every single point he made in the video easily debunkable, starting with the first one. A lot of AI art that comes out is literally better than most artists' best work. True or false? False. To the untrained eye, a drawing made by an AI modeled after another popular artist obviously might seem to be objectively better than drawings made by a real artist, but it actually isn't. And to be fair, the disparity isn't even close. For example, here's this image modeled after the art style of Sam Does Art. As you can tell, it seems to have an understanding of what his style looks like and could potentially spit out drawings made from mimicking his work. But when you put this AI image side by side with an actual image made by Sam, you can see that it's not even close. The AI image looks extremely stiff compared to Sam's art, and it doesn't have the careful, mindless strokes and emotions that come from every single.
It can't deliver emotions because it's AI. So how can you say the product is better if there's no emotion? There's no emotion. None.
single thought that went through Sam's head while he was making the painting. Even when we compare this to another artist who paints in a similar style as Sam, the difference is still not even close. The AI drawing just looks awful all around. So saying an AI image is better.
And I know some people are going to be saying, oh, but I don't see the difference. I mean, I'm not an artist. I will still get this one. I don't need to pay Sam Does Art. I could just use prompts. Well, let me give a good analogy. When you watch a movie, right? And when a movie really has good CGI, you are captivated by it. You're like, wow, that is absolutely amazing. Why? Because not only it looks really real. Not only it looks compelling, whether it's real or fantasy, like Thanos from Avengers, but you can tell there's a lot of methodology. There's a lot of logistical work that's been implemented to captivate your eyes. And when you have something where it's AI, even you as a viewer is going to be like, it looks good, but there's something off. There's something flat. Like a human being didn't go in there and touched it up. It's just generated. And that's what it is in terms of the difference between the left and the right. And at the same time, because it's prompted, guess what? You don't value it even less. You don't value it. Why? Because no hard work has been put into it. So now you're just going to think of bargaining like, race to the bottom. We got to get it for free. And now we ain't going to value art even more. And that's the biggest problem about what's going on right now.
Than most artists finish drawing is just a hypothetical statement that is entirely wrong. His second point being, I don't consume the method, I consume the product, is also kind of wrong because the product you claim to consume could only be made possible with the method you're trying so hard to avoid. It's just like saying you don't care for LeBron's training, you only watch LeBron because he's LeBron. But the truth is, LeBron wouldn't be the LeBron you know today without his training. I don't know if you're getting me, or maybe I'm just stupid. Someone called this peak consumerism.
No, it's not. It's not stupid at all. It's like in order to reach the finish line, you have to go through the process before you hit the finish line. You can't just be like, well, he's first place for being first place. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. I'll even give you another example. Check this out, right? Okie dokie. So imagine if this, right? Let me switch over this view. So imagine, you guys see this, right? This is a belt. World Heavyweight Champion belt. Okay. Now this would be a huge impact if I told you guys that I worked so hard. I defeated so many people in order to become World Heavyweight Champion. But that's a lie. You see, this, I just bought it. Bought it online. So you see how the value diminished? It's just the finish line. I just got it. I didn't have to work hard. I just got the product. It's not about the methodology. It's about the end result, right? Wrong. People care more if you have to put in the work to win this trophy, right? Like in a YouTube plaque. If I bought a YouTube plaque, it's like, it's just a prop. It's just a prop like this. This is a prop. Didn't put in the work. I didn't beat many opponents. I didn't defend this. I just simply bought it. And that's the biggest problem with AI. When everybody cares more about the end result of prompting this and prompting that, then the value of the prop diminishes. It doesn't really have value. So when people see that, they're going to be like, man, you must have been world heavyweight champion, right? Now, if I would have lied and been like, yeah, I had to defeat this and that, the belt looks more significant. But by telling the truth and saying, nah, I just bought it online. Wah, wah, wah. It's like, then it becomes forgettable. People care when other people put in the hard work. When you just get something so fast, no one cares. All right, so let's get back into it.
Which is quite a rather funny way to look at the situation. A lot of other people in the comments seem to agree with what XQC was saying, claiming he was right and that was exactly what the consumer was thinking, because they didn't care how a product or game was made and were only consuming the final product if it was good or they enjoyed it. But if we take that same analogy and use it in movies, people still call out bad movies regardless of how they were made. So it appears that claim is also false,
especially
because
with
consumers
CGI.
can still tell if a product is bad,
lazy CGI,
subpar,
people can
or is
tell.
just a pretentious version of a better product. Another fixing art debacle, which in my opinion is probably the dumbest out of all of them, is the one that happened after this amazing artist made a tweet where they showed a page of their sketchbook after they had spilled coffee across it, and then showed how they drew over the shapes of the coffee and turned the image into a unique fine piece of art. Their tweet almost instantly went viral, gaining a whopping 30 million views and over 400,000 likes. Someone then quoted
AI
the tweet
cannot do
stating
that.
how this wouldn't have been possible to achieve using AI because clearly it had to have come from a human for the drawings to feel genuine.
Yeah, because humans are advanced. Humans have ingenuity that AI do not have.
Authentic, especially since it wasn't just turning a random image into a popular art style, and instead it was the artist's own visualization of the shapes the stains made on the page and how they turned each of the shapes into different forms ranging from people to both animals and cars, which is what made the drawing feel so much more genuine and remarkable. And to be frank, instead of Jerry, I definitely agree with everything the person who quoted the tweet said. An AI couldn't possibly be able to fathom a drawing like this, but to prove people who think artists are wrong, an AI advocate took the image and decided to fix it, but also blessed us with their remarkable thought process behind their conception.
AI
Thought
will
process.
enhance artists, not replace them. Respectfully, to say AI is useless for artists is just a fear and bias. Conversely, being an artist that vows to never use AI can also be valuable. For example, people buy handmade stuff rather than something made out of a factory because of its authenticity. You either fight the wave or join it. Both can yield fruits.
I placed both images side by side.
Yeah, but here's the difference though. You don't see the texture. You don't see the coffee texture or the tea texture. It's too clean. And they literally had to take the existing art that artist had to make in order to make that one on the left-hand side. Why didn't they just use the splash on the before? They had to take a finished work that the artist originally made and then had AI change it. Like I said, artist is the mother. AI are the children. It's the artificial children. And you can't even look at this, well, it's so much better. No, just because it looks cleaner and it has a full cleaner form doesn't mean it's better. The authenticity of the right-hand side is way more advanced. You can feel it. The one on the left, you can't feel anything. I don't know what's going on. Everything is just way too put together to the point where it's fake. Just like a girl who got a BBL and she got like the lip fillers and all this crazy cosmetic stuff. It's like, yeah, you created yourself as a product, but guess what? I like the imperfections because the imperfections represents who you are. When you fix yourself and do all this stuff, you lose your side of humanity. Now, I don't even like what I'm seeing, because when things are too put together, guess what? Becomes fake and it's unrelatable. So that's that. Let's get back into it.
Be honest, which one do you think looks better, feels genuine,
right.
and is the better drawing? The image made with AI or the drawing made by an actual artist? I'll let you decide.
It's the right.
I think the answer is pretty obvious. We shouldn't have to get ahead of ourselves here. There's literally no argument the artist's drawing is 10 times.
Why didn't the person who prompted it with AI, how come that person didn't use the one on the left? They had to use the finished artwork on the right. Use the one on the left and see if AI can turn that into something else. It ain't gonna look as good as this one on the one on the right. It's going to be completely different because human beings have ingenuity. We could turn something into almost anything. AI takes what we already made.
It's better than the foul-looking AI-generated slop, which just lacks any semblance of soul and authenticity. You can see how the AI couldn't tell what part of the coffee to leave behind and what part to turn into a drawing.
You don't even see the coffee.
Using the
Coffee's
shapes
gone.
Of the stains,
Coffee stain is gone.
Random images and fill them with darker colors to imitate the stains. Some parts, or more or less most parts of the drawing, don't even make any sense at all. Everyone rushed to the comments to point out to them how the AI-generated image just proved the point that the person who quoted the artist was trying to make, saying how it lacked any
see, the AI has made this image look soulless. Every character in the image has the same expression and face, just a different body. Exactly. Stale. Soulless.
Creativity and was just totally soulless. But the fine AI gentleman wasn't going to go down without a fight. Oh no. He made another tweet where he fixed his original fix and gave us another fantastic speech to go along with it.
I agree with you guys. AI will not replace artists, but please understand that it will just enhance them. Originality will also be more valuable than ever before. You have the free choice to choose your expression.
Yeah, he does sound like
AI
him.
Is an understandable bias.
Oh, Muhammad, why you sound like the guy from 300?
Concept has had resistance to it.
Are we safe? Why am I scared all of a sudden? Why does this sound like a villain speech? What's wrong with bro? How did this guy go in from a shitty image to making an even shittier image? I just can't explain anymore, and I'll just let the comments do all the talking. Well, I'm glad everyone can see that these AI images are just genuinely sloppy versions of actual drawings. And while people are excited and abusing the Studio Ghibli trend, turning images into Ghibli art and whatnot, artists are still making their own drawings despite all the call-outs, insults, disrespectful statements, and side jokes made at them to mock them for ever picking up a pencil and deciding to learn how to draw. Personally, I'm always for drawing yourself and just learning how to improve. But if you want to entertain yourself and use the AI for the trend, do what you like, but don't fix anyone's art without their consent. Don't use AI to fix art. Don't steal art, and just somehow try to pick up a pencil and learn how to draw and improve daily. That is if you're up for it.
Yeah, and it takes years. It takes years. It takes decades, right? And if you don't want to go through that, this is why you hire someone. There's nothing wrong with that. You know? Nothing wrong with that. People hire people, right? People hire people for money, to manage their money. That's why they got accountants. You hire someone to do your taxes, right? So you hire someone to fix your car. You hire your doctor to know what's going on with your body, and so forth. Be humbled, but don't go out here just because there's a tool that's fun. I just look at it like just a new Instagram filter that people are playing around with. But you can't take it seriously, and no one should take it seriously. So share your thoughts, guys, down below. That's pretty much it for the video. Like I said, shameless plug, right? None of these was made through AI. This is all digital illustrations where I use Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and then I use Adobe Premiere for the color grading, where I use my body as a reference, transform them into illustrations. All right, you guys see over here. So if you have any suggestions, throw it in the comment section below. I recently, a little off topic, I recently watched Solo Leveling, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, pretty fire. But I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. And until next time, all right, bye-bye.